Good afternoon. This is Tenacious Earl, and we are going to get back into the Tenacious Golf Tour. It's been several months since we kicked off this campaign. The Celebrity Classic was our first tournament, which was it's typical of the early golf season, which is kind of low turnout as far as the best golfers. It's the way that we've adopted here in the Tenacious Golf Tour. Again, I'm your host, Tenacious Earl, and to give a little renewal of what this is all about, and again, you can look at all of the videos on this channel here, or Tabletop Baseball Plus has a bunch of them as well. Tenacious Golf Tour is a fictional golf tour. These golfers you will have never heard of unless you've watched these videos or unless you have purchased History Maker Golf from Play Games and have purchased the Pro National Golf Tour card sets. If you have, then you will recognize a number of these golfers. If not, these do not translate over to the PGA Tour or to the Live Golf Tour or to the whatever the European Tour is called now. But instead, these are all names that are made up by Play, which is a company based in Denver, Colorado, or thereabouts. And they put out games that not only include card sets that are meant to replicate real seasons, but they also like to specialize in creating seasons that are fictional. And so this is one of them. This is one of the sets. And this is the most recent set of cards that have been released, so I'm already like 6 months behind on it because I took a break. But in the first one, and I also have some cards that I have created with a custom like algorithm that I've done within Excel to try and kind of spread out the qualities that you'll see on these cards when we get down to playing. Actually, one of those cards was victorious in the first tournament. Justice Kramer won the first tournament, and let's just come over to the earnings tab. Now, I'm also I spent some time this afternoon. I was kind of ready to do something, and then I realized that I needed to do a bunch of tidying up of these spreadsheets and whatnot, because there was some data that needed to be kind of touched up and figure out where everything's going and where it should be. So this is what it basically started off as, and I probably should have titled these rank, golfer, and earnings. There. So Justice Kramer was first. Isaac White, Chico Fonseca tied for second on this money list, as we've only done one tournament, and you can see down the list. So I've already done this algorithm that I've set up to calculate. So as you can see here, this is the Oahu Shootout. This is from Waialae Country Club in Honolulu, and thoughts go out to the Hawaiian people out in the islands there. The one in particular that's been hit by the widespread devastation of fire. Just prayers to them. I don't believe this is the island that it's on, but we're going to do this anyway because this is this course is you can buy it from Play. I forget which pack it's in, but it's called Diamond Head Country Club. That's the name they give it, but it's based off of Waialae, which is usually where the Sony Open on the PGA Tour is played. So you can see here it's a C tier. So A is heavily the best players, and the majors are kind of like A. They're probably a little bit more. I haven't really incorporated any of, and actually I don't have my camera up, so I don't have to be looking into it. I haven't incorporated any of the spiced up PGA money type things that have happened because of this live situation. But suffice to say, the majors and the A tier all have more money. B tier, a few less good golfers in that. C, it's kind of a mixed bag. There are some, but not quite as many. And the D tier, which was what the Celebrity Classic was sparing top golfers and mostly back markers, kind of like what you get when you have these silly season tournaments in the PGA Tour. But we have a field of 156 here, and I will show you. I already did, like I said, the algorithm. That's what this is random numbers, and they get ranked, and then this picks the numbers of the golfers that are actually that's weird. What's up with that? Something's not right about that. Why is it not 2 through 11? Oh, that's why. See, I told you this needed some. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. That changes it even more. I'm like, why are there so many of these guys in here? So let's see, how bad is this one? Oh my goodness. See, this is why I quit doing videos. Because everything went. I changed things up, and then when I changed things up, everything got really stupid, and I needed to. Let me see. So this may get into more of even just a fixing up video than I really wanted to do. So, let's see. In this, player usage, season 3 usage. It might be this one. No, it's not that. So I had a file that was all of what I was planning to do for this season, and then maybe it's in the actual season 4. See, I went away from Google. There it is, planning. So let's see, what was my plan for a C tier? I hope these are the courses that I was choosing. Probably not. 1 to 10. 11 to 25, so 8 of 15, 5 of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's correct. But what I need to do is take this formula here, paste formula. That's not right. Grabbed the wrong one. This one. Yeah. That didn't work. Let's see. So what am I doing here? So this is a rank. So what should I be doing here? Now everything's freezing up. Hey there, Alex. Okay, so, and hello, Sakuni. If I'm saying that right. Okay, so that's 12 through 26. We have to add 10 to this guy because we already had. So then let's paste formula. See, so, okay, so let's just explain here. So I have these in groupings. So the top 10 have a certain number. It's going to be, for a C tier, it's going to be 5. So you can see here 5 of the, let me see. Let me get this up here. Was it just easy to move everything into Google Docs? So everything was in Google Docs, and I've tried to switch to Excel because I thought if I had something that wasn't actively interacting with the internet, although I'm not 100% sure that Excel doesn't either, but I thought maybe that would help my computer performance, and I think it does a little bit. But what I really need to do is plop down a little bit of money and get probably some more RAM so that my computer will have more processing power. But anyway, let's just talk about what's going on here. So if I come over here to this sheet, you can see the tier availability. And here's another thing that I just have to mention is that I've probably screwed up my first tournament, but I'm going to leave it as it is. But I'd have to go back and look and see if I set it up correctly for the D tier. But the C tier is supposed to be 5 of 10, 8 of 15 for the 11 through 25. So let's take those two to start. So 5 of 10. So I have a rank function here. So it ranks all these numbers, but just this section here, you can see when I click on this, it says AK2 through AK11, and that's this box here. So it ranks all those. So when I started here, this column was empty. I hit this, I copy, I hit this, and then I paste values. You have to do that, or else it will be just paste the random function. It will just sit there spinning, and your numbers will go all over the place. So once you do that, this will rank the static numbers. And then what I've done here is I have formulas which say if this is A, B, C, or D. Well, it's just C, B, C, or D, because A, everybody's pretty much playing in the top. Unless there's injuries. Okay, so for C, it's going to take the top 5. So you see these 5 numbers here. These are guys that will sit. So you can see right there, we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I should play poker with this. That's a straight, right? And so you can see here 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all knocked out. They're not going to be playing in this tournament. Now I need 8 of, is that what I said? 8 of 15 are going to play. So I need 7 numbers. So you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So again, I do the same thing, but I do the ranking of 12, which is this row here, through 26. So that gives me the rank. But from that rank, I also have to add the 10 spots ahead of it, so we get 11 through 25. So that's what this is. This is 11 through 25 is your ranking, and so it's taking, so you can see 12, Harley, Villanueva, no. So then the question will be, what am I doing for the rest of this stuff? So we've got, what's next? 26 through 50. That's going to be 12 out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And this is, so, nope, this needs to be switched too. So this is going to be 27 through 52. Is that what it's going to be? 51. Oh, and it also needs to be plus 25, right? Because we had 25 ahead of it. And then we need to paste formula. Okay, so that's, so we had 12, so that means 13 are going to play out of that. Next up, we have, what do we have here for 51 through 100? We need 25 numbers. So do we have that? I'm going to take my word for it that that is 25. Okay, so we've got 52 through 101. So this one is actually set up properly. Correct? Yes. I think everything else is set up properly. So, hi there, RJL. Hi, Derek. And yeah. So, well, yeah, it's been a spell. The other thing I was doing this afternoon when I was getting ready, I started looking and I said, you know what? I was setting this up to have a dynamic priority ranking. So you can see here I have Justice Kramer at 29. He was not ranked 29 before, but because he won a tournament, he gets lopped onto the end of the priority rank of the winners bracket. And I don't know if I have that set up here, but I guess to show you. But anyway, so now that changes and it pulls him out from the other part of the list where he was located, which was the top 125. Anyway, this is potentially only for my benefit. I do realize some of this is a little I don't know how much of it, and if there's ever a question as to any of the terminology or whatever I'm saying, I can explain to the best of my ability. I don't know of whether I may have to choose which things I talk about. You're a poker dealer. Okay, well, yeah, the only thing is I don't have any, there's no suits there, so it can't even be a straight flush. Okay, just got a notification on my phone. Alright, so from what I can tell, I've selected the appropriate, we'll say appropriate. We've selected some guys here randomly that are going to take the week off. And then the challenge will next be needing to, what do I want to say? Get this to be the same way in my template for the next time, so that I don't sit here doing this on camera again, which will probably not happen. So for some reason, I guess I didn't. So I looked that up. It was 269 was the YLI winning score on tour in 2020. So let's hide this again. This should show up now. Previous score. Let's take this. This is like we're rolling for. This is a custom roll that I do just to try and set the target score. So this actually sets the target score at 272. It's going to be a little higher scoring, so not quite. So what was the par in this? I think it was 71. So that makes, what's that? 284. So 269 would have been minus 15. This would be more like a minus 12, which still is pretty low. All right. So then, the other thing we have to do here before we get started on this quote-unquote rolling and the card shuffling and all that is we need to, I'm going to roll the dice right here. So these are dice. So 1-6, this is an algorithm that says, okay, if this is more than that, then take this number first, multiply it by 10 and add this. And if that is less than this, then do the same thing except the reverse. So we're going to paste the values, and that will paste the values into my other sheets. So let's see. So, all right. So before we leave the sheet, let's just talk. So we do have Trent McAdams, Joshua New, Enrique Magallanes are playing in this tournament. Those are guys that I don't think were playing in the original tournament. Let's see, is Justice Kramer is not. So I feel like that's better. I feel like he would, after winning a tournament, he probably would want to go home and celebrate with his family and kick a few back and, you know, get out of Dodge, so to speak. And instead of flying over to Hawaii, of course, now he's going to be entered into the Tournament of Glory, which is at Kapalua. So, but he'll give himself an extra week off. But anyway, we also have Yun Lee Song, Carson Riddell, Gil Granberry, Shinji Kanishi, Justin Wallace, Evan Aldridge. We aren't going to have Leonard, Rowetter, Westinghouse, Emmerich, Summers. So, you know, not everybody's going to be here. But a fair number of golfers that we should recognize. So now we come over here. So this is where we do the shuffling. And I do, again, these are all random number generators. I paste the values, and then I'm going to hide this. There. Okay. So, and I'm going to zoom this a wee bit. Okay. Maybe. Actually, the way I can zoom this is... it's a little better. Okay, so I'm going to come over to my camera so I can talk to you guys face to face for a second. So, at this part of your setup, so first off, what we just did, if you're playing a tournament, you're going to take your card set, and if you do a system where you're trying to sort of facilitate some level of player usage which is closer to what is on tour, the first thing you would do is you would have to go through your set and take the cards that you want and kind of pile them up and get them all together. And this is 156 cards. That's kind of why one of the reasons I developed all of this in the long run. But it's still very much possible. And some people would just, instead of, you know, so this is tournament mode. Instead of doing that, what they would do is they would just use all the cards in the set. Maybe take some of the 150, you know, take 156 of whatever it is, 164. They might have 200 if you get the extra cards that I think you can download from the play site. And just do the tournament just with those cards and not worry about anything else. I wouldn't blame anybody for doing that. But you would have to get those cards together. If you had injuries, you'd want to pull out the injuries. Excuse me. But then you'd want to shuffle them up. And shuffling 156 cards, not the easiest proposition in the world. You know, there's ways to do it. One would be maybe get a bag and try and, like, do your best to shuffle them up. Put them out on, you know, fan them all out on the table and kind of like rummage them together and you know, get them messed up as much as you can, because you don't want them to be, you don't want them to have an order, right? But it's not the easiest thing to do. The Atlas soccer cards would be a little easy, like the fast action cards, because they have sort of this plastic coating on them. It's a little easier. But these cards, it's not the easiest thing in the world. So if there's a way you can devise to do that, the way I've done it here is that last cut or copy and paste values that's basically me shuffling it out, and it comes up with, again, it ranks. I mean, I can show you. Let's do the. Let's go into the weeds here a little bit. So there's 156 numbers here, correct? There better be. Yeah, there you go, 156. I don't remember what those were for. That's maybe for something else. But those are all ranked, and we have 156 golfers. So from those ranks, it's a randomized ranking, right? I mean, you take each number versus the others. And so then you can set them up into piles. And I've had to come up with a bunch of I had to, it takes, you have to think through. Oh, I should show you over here. Let me take you to this screen. So this is what I was talking about. See this? Here are the 156 random numbers here. And then there's the rank right there. And you'll see this indirect. All that is sometimes the best, kind of the cleanest way to do things when it comes to spreadsheets is to, if you've got these like formulas where you want to rank something, you have to know exactly how many items you have in there in order to rank them. And so you have to, so that FA1 cell that has the dollar signs there, that's FA1. In that there is a count of all the numbers, just because I do have some fields that are like 144 or 125, and so we can set up the rank to only get those certain numbers. So what that ends up being is it's a pointer. So it counts everything, and then then there's a function called concatenate, where then you could say, okay, I'm going to make the cell range that I want is B1 through, which that is a text string, and then you add, so B2 through B, and then that number, or you might have to add cells to that if it's not starting in B1, right? So in this case it'd be 156. So then that's a cell, and so then you go this rank B1, and you want to rank it in terms of B1 through B156. Well, it gets that from the indirect, okay? So and again, it comes through here, and there's an elaborate way in order to get these. You can see 61 is right here, and then if you wonder what this number is, every golfer has their own sort of golfer number now. So like Carson Riddell is number 1. He was the first one that got into the thing when I first started, and so that's kind of a golfer reference number. And so that's what I bring up here, and so a lot of what is driven in the background goes off of that instead of the golfer naming. Because what I found is golfers' names can change. Sometimes they have Jimmy with an IE, and sometimes they have Jimmy with a Y. So that kind of like eliminates some of that rigmarole. Hi, DJ John. Best answer for that is do whatever they do for blackjack when you have hand shuffle 8 decks. Well, yeah, and I think so. Again, that's kind of what I'm saying with these. Now, I do have these in plastic sleeves, which would make it a little easier. But if you're just getting the base cards from Play It, you don't have any plastic sleeves. The texture of them, it just makes them sort of like, they're not sticky, but paper kind of wants to stick to paper, and so it can just be a little trickier. If you have a way to laminate your sheets before you cut them, that might be even better, right? Then you'd already have it plastic coated. So then what we've done is I have all those numbers in there, and next to each, in between each of these little boxes, are those numbers again. And so the rank number goes to something else, goes to another, actually it's the score compiler. So you can see here, Rodell is 1 and he's number 1. It kind of goes in numerical order by that reference number. And then from that it translates into what the golfer's number is, but it's all randomized. See, that's how we get to where, and so these are the ratings. And again, let's talk a little bit about History Maker Golf, especially tournament mode. There are two. If you want to go and play Nicklaus versus Palmer head to head, you don't need the tournament ratings, but the cards. Oh, I want a guitar pick. Here, I'll get a card out and switch it over. again, we've shown a lot of this stuff before, but so this is a card. This is Rance Aberley. I gotta get this. Oh, it's really bright, isn't it? Let's see if I can do this in a way that doesn't look so dang bright. Anyway, this here is the tournament number 1C for Rance Aberley. These are his qualities. This is what you use in the playing out of the round. But like 1C is a tournament rating, and the tournament rating, the long and short of that is, it's kind of like, it might sound negative to say it this way, but I'm going to say it this way. It's kind of like a fudge factor when it comes to all this stuff. The tournament properties, like legend, gold putter, sandy, all these things, that contributes to their score in a round. In a tournament, that'd be the final round. But the tournament rating, more or less, is going to help flush out which of these guys moves to a lot. And, you're going to have more of the better golfers into the final round, more often. That's going to bring them more money. It also kind of like biases them when they don't make the final round, that they're going to have better scores and better finishes. And so it's just sort of this, what you could say, it would be ethereal, but it's not really that ethereal. It's kind of obvious that what it's there to do. So like 1A is the best. So the first number is kind of like the broad classification: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I even have some 7s when I was running the slacker, right? Those are like broad buckets. And then each broad bucket has A, B, and C. So 1A is better than 1B, better than 1C, but then 1C is better than 2A, right? So this just kind of helps. And it doesn't exactly, you could have a 4C finish very high in the money if they perform really well in a tournament, just because that's where the tournament money comes. If they win a tournament, they're going to be up there. But it's just sort of this, and I want to say subtle. I don't think it's that subtle, but you're going to have, it's going to be influential in a lot of cases, but there'll be a few cases where you'll be like, oh man, that guy's had some bad luck and just hasn't made it to his 2B tournament rating over the course of like a 20. Now we're doing 36 tournaments in this, so it's going to take forever, but yeah. So anyway, what you can see right here, over here, and actually I'm going to go ahead and really blow this up some. Alright, so you can see these are tournament ratings, and this is where the golfer's name will appear when we do our checks. So we're going to do the checks right now. We're going to check each pile. So this is a pile, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in that pile. So there's so let's see. So there's 10. Trying to think. I feel like there are 12 with 10, and then there are is it 12 with 10? It might be different than that, but anyway, actually, yeah. No. So 9 times 6 is 54. So there are 6 that have 9 piles, or 9 card piles, and then there are 10 that have 10, right? So we get to 156. Anyway, so up here are the rolls that I pasted into that other tab. And so when you get the game and you have tournament mode, there's a sheet that comes, and on one side it has the first 2 rounds, all golfers, and the third round is the golfers who made the cut. It's on the same side, and also some information about staging the final round. Then on the other side of it, it's got the tourney day stuff, which we'll show a little later. Also has the emerging contender stuff for during the round. But anyway, if you look at the first 2 rounds, so again, since this is kind of rebooting things, let's get back to basics. PGA Tour event. This is based off of the PGA Tour. There's kind of 2 phases to the tournament. We'll say 3 when we're playing this game, but in reality, there's kind of 2 phases. Thursday and Friday are where 156 golfers go out, and they play 2 rounds, 1 each day. There's a cut made. You have to perform in those first 2 rounds if you want to play your final 2 rounds. I believe it's 70 plus ties but it could be 65 as well. But I'm pretty sure it's 70. So the cut is made at the top 70 plus ties. So if you're watching on a Friday afternoon, watching a PGA event, they'll say, the cut's at +2, and it might be +2 at like 5:30, but then somebody makes a birdie somewhere, and now it's actually +1 because it's moved down. Just the way that the scores work out. Now the top 70 is at +1, not at +2. So that's what this first part here is the cut rounds. So the first 2 rounds. Then the second half of the tournament is Saturday and Sunday, and that is again, you play 2 more rounds, but everybody is once they're in the weekend. The other thing about the weekend is then you get paid. Those guys that get cut after Thursday and Friday, they don't get paid. They go home. They've spent the money to go and travel and eat their meals and pay their caddy, but they get nothing for it, right? So now the thing that's a little different with this game, and it's kind of the same thing in real tournaments, right? There's the first 2 rounds, and then the third round is kind of like it's treated differently in this. If you want to get down to brass tacks, the third round is kind of like where the golfers try to, you're trying to get to the final day in the best position possible, because the higher you are, I mean, do I need to explain it? All the rounds add up into what your final score is. So you're just trying to make as much hay as you can each day. And so that's why I'm saying I don't really see Saturday as that special. But in this game, because it really sets up what we're going to play out to sort of set the golfers apart from each other, to test them on the course, we go to the final round. And so we do a third round mechanism to sort of like set that up. And so we'll go through that right now. We'll go through the making the cut part first. So 16, if we go to the making the cut and we have 16, we draw 5 golfers. So that I take this as a pile. So think about this as the top card on the pile and the bottom card on the pile. Well, when you do this, you'll put them into piles and split them up. You'll do 8 in the morning, 8 in the afternoon. You don't have to do them in the morning or the afternoon, but it's supposed to represent. It's kind of the way tournaments are set up. There's 156 golfers, and there's so many golfers they have to kind of like do morning rounds and afternoon rounds. And then I do think that they for the most part, flip-flop. So the guy in the morning is going to go in the afternoon on the second day usually. But for all intents and purposes, that's what we're doing here. So in my little situation here, you would pull them out and put them into a pile that's like made. I'm going to just click on made, and it's going to show you the names of these guys. So Jeffrey Clark, Chico Fonseca, Barry Wolf, Jite Kung, Fabio Antonucci. So that's the 5 draw golfers. We just pulled those golfers off the top of the pile, and then the best golfer left. So again, we go by the rankings down here of everybody that's left, and you see 3C is the best, so they made the cut as well. Benicio Vazquez. Okay, Sakuni. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to spell it out for anybody who might be joining here for the first time and doesn't really have much of a golf, know much about the vernacular of the sport, but and again, I'm trying to also discuss that there's like some subtle nuances about it as well, right? I mean, like I said, I don't think you would think of the Saturday round as with as much, influence as you kind of like, because you have its own little thing here, right? But I still feel like it's kind of the same thing. So let's just keep going through here. So 13. So the teens, so like 11 through 36 have the same kind of motif when it comes to the rolls. So if it's 13, if you subtract 3 from 1, that gives you 2. So that's the number of golfers that are going to be draw. So like in 16, that was 5. 6 minus 1 is 5. So we have 2 draw golfers here. It's Paul Batellis, Jeremiah James, and there are going to be a few names you won't recognize here because there are some brand new guys that came in the PNG that they make each year. And so then the best golfer, the top golfer, so we have 2 2Cs, and so in the cut round, the way you deal with a tiebreaker is you just take them both. Not that's not the case in the third round, but in the first 2 rounds are making the cut. That's what we do. So we have Burke Yielding and Todd Ahrens, a couple of mainstays, longtime members of the Tenacious Golf Tour. 25, so that's going to be 3 and 2. So we will get. I'm gonna butcher some names here. I should have come up with a pronunciation guide for myself. Jongbir Dewar, Ian Robards, that's Gary Jakowski, and then the top 2 are going to be the 2B and the 2C. Celestino Garcia, Isaac White, no relation to Barry. Okay, so 24 is going to be 2. Camilo Vera, Bryce Cadogan. Okay, so then we have a 1A. Is that McAdams? Nope, that's Su Cheng Tien. He's in this? Yep, he is. Okay, just double checking to make sure. So 1A, we need to take 2. And so you're going to get a 4B out of this. So again, so that's kind of where the Zach Kennedy, you have this shuffling, and that's what you're hoping for, is to have, you might have a pile with some really powerful pile where you get this, like this 66, which is draw 1, and it's outstanding. So you have made the cut, you have outstanding, you have missed the cut, and you could have injured as well. But so the outstanding, in the third round, they have an even better chance. So you can think of that as, okay, these guys are like clubhouse leaders after the second round, and the chances of them, and at least one of them, ending up in the most important pairings, like close to the top of the leaderboard, it's much higher because of that. So we're going to draw 1 outstanding golfer. It just so happens that the 1B happens to be right there, and it is Shinji Kanishi. It doesn't make the cut. It's outstanding. So he's going to end up. So how that ends up is that you do more piles for the third round. He ends up in his own pile with the other outstandings, and it should be a thinner pile. Usually it is. Okay, so that's all for 66. So 45, in the 40s, it's a little different. It's always draw 1, top 4. So we're going to draw this 3C, Jae-gun Woo, and then the top 4, which we've got 3C, 3C, 3C. Let's get all of them. Roberto Bastos, Taeyong Kian, Abel Murillo. And then we have 2 4As. That's going to make up our fourth, which is really going to be a fourth and a fifth. Andy Jansen, Dallas Downs are 2 4As again. Okay, so now at 12. And so this is kind of, it's kind of neat how this works, because of these rolls, you end up with some piles end up with a number of guys getting through. And then you have some piles where only like the 66 won. Now this is a 12, which means only 2 probably are going to get through. And so you draw one. That's Eddie Sykes. And then it's the top after that, which is the 2A. That's Justin Wallace. It'd be fun to have good equipment here, so I could really give you. I really should buy. I should upgrade the RAM on this thing, and I should get an iPad or something like that, so I can have data right at my fingertips that doesn't influence any of the streaming quality and stuff. But hopefully all the streaming stuff is working well right now for you. So 2 guys get through. 16 again, so that's going to be draw 5. One. The 1A gets in right there. That's the third one in this pile. That's Trent McAdams. He won. He was the points winner last year. Jonathan Thomason. You can see that's a little big for that space, but I'm not going to worry about it. He also won the American Open and what is the equivalent of the Tournament Players Championship. It's called the Sawgrass Championship. Okay, now 1 top. That's going to be 3A. It's Tengen Haikichi. So Evan Aldrich, Kenji Morita, Trent McAdams, Jonathan Thomason, Lucas Bergman. So that's the morning. We now go to the afternoon. And actually, with how slow Excel is working for me, the piles might be quicker if you're just going through. I'm also narrating this, right? 46, that's a 1 and 4, right? 1. We got to find the 4 top. So it's going to be these 2 3As. And all of the 4As. So it's going to be Lonzo DeLucci. Oh, wait. Draw 1 top. Yeah, top 4, but we got the tie for 4A. So it's going to be Lonzo DeLucci, Guy Ying-ma, Carson Riddell, Thies Bonton, Kenny Service, Elliott Strong. 25, we get, let's see, how many do we have so far? If we go to my tournament recap sheet, 40. Yeah, we're right. We need to have some. We want to have some lower piles here. We do have an 11. Oh, that's also going to be. We have a 12. So 11 is going to have an injury, and I haven't had an injury in a while. So we'll see how that goes. 25 is 3 that we're going to draw. So it's Sonny Wright, Devon Hanekam. I don't know how you would say that. And Derek Young. Some of these newer guys like Derek Young, I'd say they have a good chance of getting a title here in this format where we have like tiers, right? So again, 25 is draw 3, and then the top 2, and that's going to be a 3C, and then the 2 4As here. So it'll be Kevin Percival, Lataro Vero, and Joshua New. Josh New won the Tenacious Pro Showcase, which is the equivalent of the PGA Championship. So that's why he is the number 2 priority rank. We have some similarities to the PGA Tour, and that is one of them, where some of that ranking stuff is very much related to them. So 45 is going to be a 1 and 4. Robert Holmes. Then we got a 3B, a 3C. We got 2 more we need. 4C. We have 2 5As, so we'll go through and mention all the names here once we get them. So Robert Holmes, Boyd Yeager, boy, I can't. I'm gonna Domrongsink. Anyway, quite a mouthful there. Denny Bateau, Sheridan Cook Jr., Kong Wong. All right, so here is our a draw golfer's injured, and then the top golfer goes through. And I'm going to look at I have to find my injury chart here. So it's in here somewhere. I know you're in here somewhere. There it is. I think this is still available from the Play site. This chart. It's not. It's just something you would download. I'm not going to show you guys the roll, but I am going to roll. So the draw golfer exits the tournament with an injury, so it's going to be that guy. And 46 is a TFN arm injury. So withdrawn, Max Vinter. So I'm going to switch over to my tourney recap sheet, and we're going to go Max Vinter, arm TFN. I'm going to want to make sure that I get that going in my main database. And then the top golfer gets through. That's going to be 1B. That's Gail Honorado. I don't think he's won a tournament yet, but I don't remember for sure. It seems. Oh, I should be able to tell you. Is he in this group? Where is Gail? He is 47th. So no, I don't. I'm pretty sure he has yet to win a tournament. So maybe this will be the day. 1B is a good rating, so maybe this will be a chance. All right, so 16, we're going to get 5 right off the top here. 2, 3. Oh, 5. So Rogelio Ryan, Raul Langley, Carter Jacobs, Philip Owen, Lane Hawley, and then the top after that's this 2C. It's Myung Cho. Now 12, so again it's a draw and a top. It's going to be the 3B of Marshall Weber's the draw. The 3A of Mackay Berry is the top. 11, another injury. Okay. That's going to be that 3A, and it's 21. 12, excuse me. I'm so used to looking at ATBA. It's going to be illness so just 2 events. So withdraw, Adam Trenchard. So a tough one for Adam, who won our very first tournament of all time. But we're going to add him here as an injury. Pukin. One more event. There. That Pukin is pretty severe there for Adam. He needs to dig a trench to puke into on the course. Okay, and the top golfer gets through. 2B. Yunli Song. And then finally 23, so the top 2, or no, the top 1, or we draw 1, excuse me, top 2. That's a 2C and a 3B. So Mike Keller, Torrey Bingen, and Franz Hockel. All right, so how many does that give us? We want it between 70 and 80. That says 65. Let's see. Is that correct. 18, so it's 24, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Alright, so I'm going to do one other. So this is something that I've done because if you look in the rules, it says 70 golfers should make the cut. So what I like to do is I like to take the take a D20 and the decider die, and so I have 16. I have 16 piles here. So the D20 is going to tell me which pile I'm going to use, and then the decider die tells me if it's a yes, it's the top. If it's a no, it's draw. So it's top and then the 10. So we're going to go to the afternoon 2, and the top one remaining. Well, there's two of them. It's going to be these two 4Bs. Hal Marlowe, Ozzie Valenti. All right, so now we need 3 more. 7, and it's going to be top. So we'll go to morning 7. Top remaining is 2C. Dwayne Bradshaw. 2 more. 15 at top, so that's going to be afternoon 7. It's going to be 3A here. Carlos Quesada. Last one. 18 will re-roll. 20 will re-roll. 3 draw. So the next draw is this 5C, which is Jesse Duke. Okay, so that is going to be all of our ones who have made the cut. 70. Right on the money. We got rid of Mr. Yak of all trades, Adam Trenchard, who's blowing chunks on the second. So, poor guy. Unfortunately, even got a little on as a little collateral damage on his playing partner's caddy. He'll have to change his jumper for next round. I'm not sure they have any dry cleaners available on Friday afternoon this late, or whatever they use. Maybe it's not dry cleaning. Anyway, I guess I'm being a little crazy. Okay, so now we go to the third round. So now you'd take all of those, you'd pile up. So you'd take any outstanding, which I believe there's only one. Is that right? Just Shinji Kanishi. So he'll almost certainly get through into the final pairings. But then what you would do is you would take the remainder, all those other cards, and again, you'd shuffle them as best you can, and then you'd create 7 piles from them. And so this particular copy and paste values is going to set that up. And let's see, we have the 1 there, and what do we have? 70. So 10 plus 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see something. 69. 18, 27, 36, 50, 45, 54, 63. All right, well, we got a little more work to do here, so let's take a look and see what's up. So we go 477. Wait, so 52 down to 11, then we go up to 27. Let's see, so this is the last one. Alright, so we got number 15. It's right there, so we've got some more that should be planted in there somewhere. So what's the dealio? We'll figure it out. .85. Yeah, see, so that's the tough. So the tough part is figuring out, remembering how I did all of this. So this one is E35. So let's C99. Okay, well, that means I'm going to have to go in and take a look at my old tournament files and see if I can figure out where Rob, things are good. Once I get this sorted out here, it will help. It's all this moving things over to Excel has been a little funky. All right, so C99. What's in C99? Let's take a look. Whoa. Okay. Oh, that's what it is. So, okay. That's interesting. So these guys here, this is part of my randomization. So equals if error transpose these guys. Oh. What's it spilling into? Wow, why is this? Okay, well, I'm going to need to put this in a different spot, I guess. So, we'll put it over here somewhere. Let's see if I can find a good spot for it. Maybe down here. Alright, so that's AZ132. spill. Oh, there, it fixed it. But now I need to figure out. So it was AZ132. This is going to be BA132. And I will explain how this little gizmo works once so BABB132. I'm pretty impressed by it, if I do say so myself. But so there's BC132. Maybe none of you will be, but I think it's pretty cool. And if anybody can decipher what I'm talking about, then maybe you'll be able to store it away and use it in one of your projects someday when you're trying to figure out the coding of something. And so what this is, let's see, BF132, right? This was BE, BF. Is that all of them? Yeah. All right. So, what's going on here? So, I have too many. Let's see. Did this already fix it? 1, 2, 3. No, not yet. So, have one too many cards, right? So we have 70. No, we have 69. We have 7 piles. So that's going to be 9 times 7 is 64, and then there should be 5 piles with 1 more, right? Is that right? 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. Is that right? 64. 9 times 7 is 63. So actually, no. 9 times 7 is 63. So 6 piles. 6 of these piles should have 10. So what this does is there's a ranking down here. Same kind of thing. We rank them all, 1 through 7. And we put those ranks here. And then E35 is less than E31. Why is this 1? It shouldn't be 1. That should be 1, 2, 3. See, some of this didn't translate over from that. Probably fixed it, right? There we go. Yeah, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So because this is 7, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But these have the 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me see. 52, that is the top one. I'll tell you, I thought it was slick when I started, but and it was, when I thought of it, it was really slick. So, all right. So what we have here is we have E29. That is your number of cards, 69, divided by 7. So that's 9.85, right? So that's 9. So we do a round down. Yeah, I'm missing another function here somewhere. What's the other function? E29. Ah, so that's why. It's not just the numbers of them. That's why. What do you mean? Round up E29 minus, okay, let's try this. Equals round up E29 minus E30 times 7. Oh, number of digits, that's why. 0 digits. You're being a jerk. Why are you being a jerk? Equals round up number. So that we need to get the E29 minus E30 times 7. Okay, we put that, so because of your whole, I can't remember what the mnemonic is, but your order of operations, you have to put the subtract in that. But now number of digits, 1 digit. Okay, I guess that's what we have to do. So now we're just going to port these all over. This will be better. Now this makes more sense. I'm like thinking to myself, why does this not make any sense? Okay, so let's get back to why what we're doing here. Okay, so I needed to have a way to come up with a fraction, right? I needed to have the fractional. Okay, how do we have this number of piles? We need 7 piles, and I also wanted to do it in a random fashion. So what I did was I took, this is your number divided by 7, right? That gets 9.85. So you take, and what that is we already know what 9 times 7 is 63. No matter how my math is, it's 63. 69 minus 63 is 6. So we round it down to get the 9, and then we need the remainder into basically a fraction, 6/7, right? So this is 6. So then what we have down here are these random numbers, and for every number that is, in this case, if this number is greater than this, so 7 is greater than 6, then it's a 0, which means, okay, that's going to be a pile with only 9. So this is 4, it's lower than 6, so you're going to get an extra one, and that adds into this number. So 9 plus this is 9, 9 plus this is 10. So we're going to have not only 9 here, but we're going to have 10 in the rest of them. So there we go. For more mathematic skullduggery and displays of not being able to figure out the multiples of 9, stay tuned. I swear I'm smarter than that. Rob Scott has, yeah, yeah, okay. All right, well, hopefully, you said you'll be back after the debugging. Well, the debugging, I think, is over. We have 6 of them here that have 10. We have 1 that has 9. All is well in the world. Now we just have to go through the rolls. Now 55 is going to be all golfers contend with B. So this first pile, we just come up here and we're going to put everybody in B. Right? Not B plus, yeah, B. So all of these golfers are in B. So 15, the draw golfer gets A and gets a perk and issue. Eddie Sykes. he seems to get a lot of final rounds, even though his rating isn't so good right now. Top golfer with A minus. That's the 1B. Gail Honorado. Others finish with C minus. $25. Draw golfer A with a Perkin issue. It's Bryce Cadogan. Top golfer A minus. That's going to be 2B. Yun Lee Song. And then everybody else finishes with C. 12. Top golfer A plus. It's going to be this 1C. Chico Fonseca. Others finish with B minus. Okay, 12. Another 12. Top golfer. Is it 3B? There's 2 3Bs. So this is where it differs in the third round. We now have to roll a decider die for each one. So the first one, I'm going to roll the decider die. It's a yes, so this is going to be A plus. And that'll be Franz Hackel. And then this 3B, so if it's a dot when you roll the decider die, you get that rating. Otherwise, you get a B plus. And that is a no, so this is going to be a B plus. So still may get on the final round, but just won't have as good of a score. Everybody else finishes with B minus. 56. Draw golfer A minus. Others finish with D. This 1A is going to finish with D. That's Trent McAdams. He's not going to make it into the final pairings on the TV coverage. Okay, 16. Draw golfer A minus with a perk. There's the other 1A. So this is Su Chang Tien, right? He's going to have a perk issue. Top golfer gets A. Is that 2C? It is 2C. Isaac White. Others finish with D+. Is this the first time I have ever done one of these where all of the groups, let's see, C minus, C, B minus. Oh, no, we got 2 B minuses. We had 2 that were in the B minus. Anyway. And then the last one is 45. Draw golfer gets A minus. So there's only one in the outstanding. It's Shinji Kanishi. And he will get a perk or issue. All right. Very good. So far, so good. As my slowpoke going slowpoke here. So you can see who we have. We've got cut round. Oh, yeah, this is, let me see what this is up. Let me see what's up with this. Again, I'm going back and finding little bits of code that I don't remember what it's for. And I think that's what this stuff is here. 201. As you can see here. So again, these are rankings. If we go, I did the cut and paste values, and so if it's under 50, it's false. If it's above 50, it's true. Final round setup. E63. 201, 202. count A2 to A40. Why would I do that? Huh. That seems quirky. Let's go A2. Actually, let's go B2 to B10. There's only 2. Why would it be 9? Alright, let's back up. Okay. What do we got? A11 and, well, what do we have? E and I11. Why? Why? That's not right. Now what do we got here? It's down to 32. Okay, that'll be better. So we still got false, but now we have the truth. Anyway, all right. So this is just so then when you do that third round, you're going to end up putting these in piles, and when you get the game, you have cards that have A plus, A minus, etc., etc. That's what I've done here. I've put them in the piles. The DD column is basically a decide or die, 50-50 chance they either get 201 or 202 in this case because of what the starting or what the target score is, and then we just keep going down with A pile, the A minus, the B plus, and the B. Now we need the perks and issues, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these dice over here. So these are D6, 3 D6s and a D and a decider die. So 1 is yes, 1 is yes, 0 is no. So in this case we have 3, 6, 5. So 3 is media, 6 is gain extra control. So Eddie Sykes is going to gain extra control. That has no chance of being till further notice. 5 and 3 start the round, and there was 1 blue chip for Bryce Cadogan. Okay, Su Cheng Tian, 6-2, gain Stormy. And then Shinji Kanishi, 5 and 5, lose semi-quality. So none of these are till further notice, but I'm going to get out the cards here, especially Shinji Kanishi, because I want to see if we can determine which I used to like to do a randomized roll to force him into taking one that's not choice. So he's going to lose the laser quality off of his card. So let's just still getting the use of this. They changed the interface a little bit with this update. Okay, so alright, so let me get this out of the way. So we have Shinji Kanishi. I think in the grand scheme of this, what we will take away is laser. But again, there used to be a, I don't know, do I have it on this sheet at all? I don't think so. There was a point where I came up with a list of the qualities so that I could make a choice as to which, but we're just going to go ahead and take away laser. That tends to have the least effect. The semi-gold is very helpful to him, so he's going to keep the semi-gold. And so I'm going to come back onto this screen here. How long have we gone? About an hour and a half. So we're going to go to final entry. So it should be, we should see on the bottom, we should see Fonseca, Ockel, and Sykes. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We should have one of these guys, either Elliott Strong. Let's see. It's probably going to be Burke Yielding, right? Is he the one? Yep, Burke Yielding. So it goes by so Fonseca, Ockel, Sykes, Cadogan, White, Honorado, DeLucci. Let me make sure. DeLucci's in there. Yes, he is. Lee Song, Tien, Kanishi, Morita. Let's see, Morita was B+, and then we need one from the B. And it's going to be Burke Yielding because he has the highest priority rank. That's how I'm doing this, is by the priority rank. And so a TV coverage, since Burke Yielding is one that everybody recognizes, he would be in the TV coverage more than anybody else, more than those other guys. So, and then we would have the emerging contender potentially. But let's get out the cards. A through E. We got Bryce Cadogan. That might be his first time in a final round in the TGT. We have Lonzo DeLucci. And that's it for A through E. F through J. Have Franz Hockel. Chico Fonseca. Anybody else? Yeah, well, K is the next one. That'll be Kanishi. Or no, I already got Kanishi out. So K through N. You have Kenji Morita, Yunli Song. Kenji Morita. Did get Franz Hockel, yeah. Okay. O through S, we're going to have Honorado. We're going to have Sykes. And then, what does that give us? 9, so we have 3 more, right? We got Tien, White, and Yielding. Tien, white, Burke yielding. All right. All systems go. I'm not sure when I'll play this out. I'll probably start tonight, but I don't know as the first few holes is that important. But I'll try and get some of it on the channel here. So definitely the final bits. But so, all right. So just so I can so if you have a score sheet, you'd probably if you're using paper, you would have a score sheet, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to have you're going to set them up kind of like this. Although I'm going to need to tweak this a bit. So Kanishi, Merida, and yielding. This is zoomed out a little too far. Or a little too close, I mean. And I'm going to have to move these. I've been putting these here for my baseball, and they're going to be right in the way of what I'm going to do tomorrow. So, Delucci, Yunli Song, Sucheng Tien, Cadogan, White, Honorado, Sykes, Ockel, Fonseca. Apologies for the light. And then we can go back over here and take a look at these qualities here. So Sykes is going to get extra control. I'm going to just write that down there. Cadogan's going to get one blue chip. We'll put this on Cadogan. Don't forget. Sucheng Tien is Stormy. I marked that on the sheet, and then we already marked off the semi-quality. So, over here, just have to come down here and put in Tien, and that blackens him out, you can see. So, alright, well that's it for this first part of the tournament mode. It takes me a little longer because I'm talking a lot, but you know, you probably should be able to set up a tournament in, well, once you get rolling, about maybe 60 minutes. There's some other background stuff. You have to determine your scores and things like that. You can do that after you've played out the round, but that's kind of where we're sitting here. We do have the course cards right there. I'm going to do this. Let's do this real quick so it's ready for the next time. Oh, and you're going to say to yourself, why is this leaderboard not have anything on it? Well, I have to change one little thing here. Once I do, it'll be ready to rock and roll. There we are. No way. I thought that wouldn't translate over, but it did. The flags are still there. That's awesome. Sweet. Let's do one other thing here. Huh. That didn't work. I was hoping that would... There we go. Got rid of the little... Alright, we're ready to go. Alright, hey, I'll see you back here tomorrow afternoon, most likely. We'll conclude the Oahu Shootout. We're going to have Chico Fonseca with the lead. I also have to get the ranking. You can see everybody's ranked 0. There's probably somebody there that's not ranked 0, but starting with a -8. And so we'll see. And Franz Hockel, they're both tied. So decidedly international leaderboard, but we'll be back tomorrow to finish this out and have some fun with this. See you guys next time. Keep rolling. Leave a comment if you have questions. Go ahead and tiptoe on the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you back here on Tenacious Sports. Thanks for tuning in. Glad to be back. Glad to see all you guys here